We had a mailbag question over the weekend over on the site that really kind of had me thinking a lot over the last few days. So I wanted to put it your way. It was from Greg, and he asked, Matias Ekholm doesn't seem to get love for awards like the Norris Trophy, probably because he doesn't score enough points. But how highly would you rank him amongst defensemen in the NHL? Is he top 10? Is he top 20? Higher or lower? Louie, you watch a lot of hockey. You see a lot of other teams up close and personal. Where would you rank Matias Ekholm amongst defenders in the NHL?
I think it was Elliot Friedman earlier in the year, talked about Ekholm's game. And let's face it, I'm going to say this right away. I'm sorry. The Norris Trophy has kind of become the highest points defenseman that plays okay hockey, doesn't have to play great defensive hockey. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that's what the Norris is all about. I think the Norris is about the player that goes out there and plays the best as a defenseman. And that's both offensively and defensively. And sometimes I would even say it's more important defensively. I've always said this, and I think the NHL needs to do it. They need to make another award. You need to reward the most offensive defenseman in the game. Simple as that. There's an Art Ross, and there should be one for defensemen. Simple as that. Call it the Bobby Orr if you want. That's great. I think it's awesome. That's a perfect one for it. Call it the Paul Coffey if you want. He's the other guy that ran right alongside Bobby Orr as far as offense. Or you could call it the Tyson Barrie Award. And I know people laugh when I say that, but that's the prime example right there. He led all defensemen in points in the shortened season, never got one Norris vote. What does that tell you? It's not just about putting the puck on the net and creating points. Carlson with 100 points in San Jose, I'm sorry. He wasn't the Norris winner that year. He was by far the most offensive defenseman in the league. It was his third Norris, and I'm sorry, there was defensemen in the league that were better defensemen than Erik Karlsson greatly, okay? And listen, this is how the league works. I understand that. Make a different award. Make the Norris about being the best defenseman. So long-winded, a little bit of a sore spot for me. You go into conversation about Matias Ekholm. He's an awesome defenseman. He's a very hard guy to play against. And when he plays that way, he had a stretch where the points weren't coming, and you didn't even care. You didn't even care because he was so hard to play. And I think that Darnell Nurse is starting to fill into that whole void too, and he's starting to play the same way. I think he's playing the best he's played in his career. He's playing confident. I think Paul Coffey's done good things with his defense core to make them a tight-knit group. And I think the big guys are starting to understand that it's not just about points. It's not about producing. Everybody wants to talk about that. It's about being solid. It's about being hard to play against. And yeah, I would put Matias Ekholm right up there with the best defenseman in the league right now, as far as hard to play against, the way he leads by example. First drill today, the defense did at the end of the practice. Paul Coffey has them down in that end, and they do a lot of work. It's repetitions. It's about going through the motions and the repetitions every day. Defensemen are put in unique positions the way they pass the puck from defense. You're going backwards to forwards. You're pivoting backhand side, forehand side. They have to go through these repetitions over and over and over again to kind of make that just an absolute automatic. Because little fumbles in the defensive zone, as we know, are glaring because it leads to a scoring chance. Matias Ekholm went first in that drill. It was like he was in Game 7 last year in Florida, how hard he went. That's an example he's leading on the ice every day. So I've got a lot of time for Matias Ekholm. I think he's a great defenseman, great human being, but a really hard guy to play against and a great defenseman. So yes, I put him up there with some of the best in the league.
Maynard says, call it the Boris Mironov. Huh? Maybe?
Yeah,
Bobo?
the Bobo. The Bobo, hey, listen, reward that, because I think that's a part of the game too. You could call the Eddie Shore Award, for the defensive defenseman in the league, but I think you could morph that Norris into what that's supposed to be. And I just think that there should be an award for the most offensive defenseman in the league. I really do, because that is part of the game we talk about a lot. And there's guys that have that specialty. Evan Bouchard, no question about it. Matias Ekholm even said it. This guy is the most offensive guy on our team defensively. No question. He is the most talented offensively. He has that mindset. And, sometimes it's almost a crutch for offensive defensemen. It's like, because is he really good defensively? We talk about Bush, he's got to be more solid defensively. He's got to be at least sound defensively where he's not a liability, because the offense is going to be there. I'm not worried about the offense with Bush. It's going to be there, right? It's about the other aspect of the game. It's so important. Why do we talk about it so much? I believe it's the most important thing when it comes to defensemen.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.